or a couple weeks ago on panel, which is there's some of us that have had all of our information doxed. Everything we say and do is attached to our name. We get harassed, and people can look up all of our stuff. And there's this pressure. There's this um, on some of us that have our stuff out there. And then there's people like LARP that are so freaked out about anyone knowing anything about him, which is that sus or not, but that he gets to sort of, in the Damone manner, moonwalk and say what he wants, do as he pleases, without the risk of having his phone number thrown out there. And, I don't know if he necessarily has kids or families or anything, but having his address. So LARP is a perfect example of the dichotomy of some people in this place that have to manage relationships and manage, essentially their livelihood because of their involvement in this community. And that's not even to say the things doing positively and good. Like, would LARP go out and catch a predator? Or would he be worried about his cell phone number having to be released to a few of the decoys? Or his name being released to the police? Is he that much of a pussy that he can't have his information out there, that he wants to sit back and troll predator catchers and people in this community that do sometimes do good things, right? Well, he sits back and trolls away, mocks away, and comes in, initiates a conversation with me, which I barely respond to. And in fact, one of the messages is I left him on red. That was one of the messages that he sent back to me, that I didn't respond to him fast enough. And it's now it's telling why I shouldn't even communicate with someone as a pussy as he is. And then they want to bring...
What's interesting is that LARP seems as though, right, every time he gets up into these movements, this isn't the first one, there's been many, where he's the one, it seems as though, to go in first, make friends, or have to be friends with some type of maybe ShadowBox representative, right? Like, you got one on the panel here, and he's in the chat. You've got representatives of the UPK servers all around you, right, ready to dox information, that are supposedly like anons in the background, playing tough guy, right? When it's some of them that they want to forget about, did seem like to me, they're literally letting out of a jail cell to come and troll the internet with a demonic, avatar and so forth. And it was pretty entertaining. And especially to find out, man, this guy, man with a mic from a long time ago from the server era and area. And using, just demonic tactics, so forth, that was in court case record and what ShadowBox was doing. Isn't that amazing? That's just amazing to me. Well, before I go on here, a little bit of a disclaimer. Even though I'm using Sam Clinton's footage here, so forth, right, he still brought up my name. And I'm going to retort to it, okay? And we're going to try to make it fun and at the same time learn a few things here about LARPy and some of his tactic in the background. Like when Sam Clinton was at a community meeting and it was posted to YouTube, and then LARPy's there, oh, you did great, buddy, right? In the comments section, that video got scrubbed, so forth. Very interesting, the dynamic here of the way LARPy's got to work these movements, go up first, he's up in there first, while the others are watching for how everybody's going to react to LARPy up in there, and then they start adjusting their little pieces, and then make their move, like when Denise Mad Cow and Clovas started fighting on the NV cap, and, panels, so forth, and very interesting. Same thing with the Chris Thorns that's what we were trying to point out with Becky last time she joined the panel, and how they, got to go up in the chat, start fighting, so forth, start fights. It's because maybe there's somewhere that's got some traction, but at the same time, they have to try to control things from the background. And LARPy, admitting he's been assigned from being press, been assigned to me since 2017, I mean, some of this isn't surprising to me, what Sam Clinton's bringing up here. And the reason why LARPy's been lying about me is because they need me to go away, because I've seen their tactic many times on how they have to drive that wedge with the sock accounts, right? The sock accounts, and then you got the ShadowBox representative, son of Clovinator. You know what I'm saying? How it's all got to be tried to controlled from the background on who does what, says what, when, where, who goes live. That's a multi-channel network, which is also operating off of extortion and blackmail, it sounds like. But let's keep going. Oh, yeah, and extreme, like, libel, slander, but that's okay, right? That's all right, as long as it's done to me.
Up this sort of two-face thing, which I'm going to touch on too, Bill. This whole two-face thing, and that everything that you say in public has to be said in private, or everything that you say in private has to be said in public, or all of your jokes or sense of humor, which is essentially what this boils down to. Was this, so LARP in his inability to release messages on his community page because Google can't have his phone number. Good luck for him doing anything positive for this place for anyone but himself, because he can't even give Google his phone number. But let's freak out about Proton Mail.
As if they don't already know everything
about him, for sure. Right.
Oh, Telly.
But let's let him let in his little...
Okay, so I'm wondering how many of these sock accounts are actually LARPy or his crew. More than likely like this one. Could be LARPy. Could be LARPy. They're definitely, let's say, trained or have been given the bullshit download of 150-page docs with 25-page criminal history of Mr. Cox, right? They're definitely on the same page as far as the canvas. They've been practicing in the mirror, the sales pitch, to keep Mr. Cox out of their chats with bullshit. Like this guy, Captain Save-A-Ho, trying to say that I'm an agent and all this other stuff, when I'm not. I say it every time I'll do a video. Not contracted with anybody, not working for anybody, just having fun here and documenting some bullshit. Especially like Telly, man. I mean, this isn't an L, right? Well, I mean, he took a big L against Tommy, but busting out LARPy here, see, that's what the other side has done. And it's interesting that LARPy is usually on that other side that's going to fight and fizzle out, because it's just, it's gone too far now. And the higher up script writers are like, just shut it down. It's okay. Just troll the shit out of them now. Shut it down. Divide it down, just like you did with the Truffers. Your Truffer pocket there, LARPy with Fellowmon, and got plenty of screenshots of those two guys working together in the past. But now, some reason, they're maybe, let's say, play fighting. See? That Allen account. You got some weirdos, real weirdos in here, man. The PatCon is... one of Ed's, I mean, I thought that was, a hardcore Ed supporter there for a while. That and a few other accounts. The Clown Force, I think, was a hardcore Ed supporter there for a while. Quite a few. And we've got them all tagged on the Quantum LARPbot channel the day that Ed dropped my live link and says, hey, that's a pedo supporter. Go troll him. And they all come in and, you're a pedo. Oh, wow. Right? Isn't that fun? Well, we got them all tagged to the AI on the Quantum LARPbot channel. We just been having that on simmer over there for a little while. Might start ramping that up.
Fantasy world that Google and Facebook and all of that stuff, that he does all these secure things, but like, why? I mean, is that, again, back to that question, we all claim, or these people, or few people claim, like, Edward is sus, like Jay Silly called him out early on. Because he uses Proton Mail, he is guilty of the crimes. Proton Mail being a secured email. I don't use it, but I mean, I understand what the concept is, which is you don't necessarily want government or private entities spying on you. And so you have LARP sitting there not even wanting to give Google his phone number, but Ed maybe not wanting to give Google all of his emails and anything else. And I mean, like, what's the double standard? Yet again, there it is. Like, let's call out the sus nature of LARP not wanting to so much as give his phone number to Google to verify his account so he can post his bullshit chat logs, 9 messages in 9 months. I don't know what it was, 9 and 9 or 8 and 8 or something like that. Mostly of his. So LARP released our messages on his a grainy video, and I'm not necessarily going to authenticate all of them. There is this idea that people fake chat logs and doctor them up. I'm not going to go so far as to say he doctored anything up at this time, but you know, some things were said in there that I acknowledge I said. But I'm going to address that later on. But the principle of this unfair playing advantage or playing field. LARP's a perfect example of, he can go in, look up my name on a YouTube video and put comments about me off on my real name on videos that were, you know, that was used, that my name was used or I was in the video or whatever, and he can go sort of troll away, and not sort of terrorize, but, you know, when people outside this community start going to videos of your real name or information and start just posting shit and being a general troll, he can do that to others, but would he like it done to him? And he's so freaked out about him being done to him, right? And he's
it's so easy to troll LARP, though. All you got to do is say he drives a chick car, because when he's streamed before and jumped on panels and he's driving, you can hear the little Dank Williams 3-cylinder running in the background. And all you gotta do is say, oh, you're driving a chick car, LARPy, what are you thinking, right? And then he'll freak out and he'll talk a bunch of bullshit about you in the chats and try to get you timed out anywhere he can, like in Javi's, right? In Javi's, he much rather ban the veteran that's been there helping out and inputting good information, and then when LARPy wants to troll and then you swing back, the goal is to get me banned, right? And get me out of there and all my work book burned in a veteran's chat, which I think we'll go into more later about that.
Long-term player, I think. I mean, kind of a weirdo. I'm not a person of the internet. He is kind of a person. All these in these little internet weirdo. Like, he knew who Gomez was. I don't know really who Gomez is, other than what people have talked. Like, people are funneling in from other internet communities. I have no clue. But LARP being a product of sitting on day in and day out, doing that and being around the internet, but not like totally dabbing it, like not doing anything positive for anyone other than himself to protect himself. Good for him, I guess one would say.
He's had a long time to come up with his canvas and bullshit and practice it in the mirror like Mikey's sore ass. That good sales pitch, right? To get either somebody shut up, banned, timed out, excluded, which I don't care. I just like seeing the attempts, like, I put out the box of cornflakes or the bullshit for them to run with, and they take it, and oh my God, this guy cocks so bad. Don't let him anywhere near your movement. When it's him that you don't want anywhere near your movement, because he's not adding anything. He doesn't have any legal, training or anything, right? Procedure, and that's what I want to argue and debate, is get into the law and the limited capacity of what they're trying to do to limit the capacity of the civilian side.
For him, right? So a lot of my information is so he's able to find my videos and look up my DUI and harass me for months in public about my DUI, while in private congratulating me for getting the charges dismissed. He can troll me relentlessly, call me all kinds of names and be, this and that about Sam and, whatever everybody says about me. In private, he can come and say, I miss you. I wish you were around. Right? So this whole, and then you go back to these Zumbas and these Discords and all these Slacks and everything out there. What's everything being said in there that can't be said on a panel? Can't be said out in the open?
It's just about controlling people and making people feel cool. So I left all of that.
That's exactly it there, Mr. Dragonfire. Is that my belief, and by the definitions, that you try to control someone, like some of these people, like Spamgla G, right? Thinking that she's pulling one up over on Mr. Cox while, by dropping a playlist with the DooDoo Effect videos. Where's that guy now, right? Mr. One who went full gay, his videos, Felomon videos, Dank Williams videos, a lot of credibility you got going there, backing you up there, Spamgla G. I think it's amazing. But the control factor on having to control a narrative and the communications, especially last night when Spamgla G's dropping that playlist in the Predward chat, right? The same time Predward's getting busted out on more shit that's going deeper on his case, solidifying more that he may just be guilty, in my opinion. That's why I'm not going to let up on him. You guys wanted to use me right before you got busted out to try to deflect with. That's why I put out the box of cornflakes. That's why I gave you the clips. Just so you could deflect with when you're getting burnt the most. Right? Oh, God, it's Cox, the most horrible guy. Look, hurry. I'm getting busted out for CP. Hurry. Cox sent a bag of dog food to his sicko to troll people. Oh, man. Oh, man, he's the most horrible guy out there, right? I love
it. So-called private chats and Discord and Instagram and text all over there. And I left them all. Stayed out of all of them for about a year and a half. And just recently, right all together, I got back into 3 and I already left one of those. And I'm only in 2 that hardly ever gets chatted in. So, yeah, it's just, I just got sick of it. And there is a lot of two-faced bullshit that goes on in those things, and every one of them is supposed to be private. And in fact, when I operated a lot of Discords for people, one rule I put in pretty much every one of them was that you cannot take screenshots here without permission of the people involved in posting it or whoever's about it. But it doesn't matter. People still do it anyway. Like you got fucking Bobby Joe, who's proven herself two-faced many times, has screenshots of Discords from like 3 fucking years ago. And I think it's weird. So yeah, I just don't care to participate in that kind of thing anymore.
Yeah, and you kind of started a lot of Discords early on, and we're in a lot of Instagram group messages. And you sort of have fizzled out of most of them, from my understanding, just because of the shit that you had to deal with and solve just behind the scenes. And I think that the very nature of having these panels on YouTube that anybody can listen to, and then people go, I don't get involved with Discords. And, despite things, I have been invited, maybe not to the boys one or a version of it, but I've been asked to set things up, and I do occasionally have a group Instagram that I'm a part of, but I, like you, Bill, have sort of trimmed those down just for various reasons. But in how he talks, and good, some will say, oh, well, he has such good people that he talks to that no one would ever betray him like that. Like LARP owed you nothing. LARP, no. I know you laugh.
I got spies everywhere, man. Everywhere.
Let's just say that's what they would say. Oh, LARP, excuse me, LARP, LARP didn't owe you anything. He's not your friend, and that's true. And, I don't like him. I've said that in public. I've said it, if the language of those messages, I mean, some would say that I was sucking up to him, but if you read the messages, he is sucking up to me like I've never had, he's been my biggest supporter actually, with the messages that he said that he's begging and begging me to come back because he enjoys having me around. And so and that's what's so fascinating to me, that everyone thinks I'm this, oh my God, Sam, and freaking out about Sam being a fraudulent pussy and serpent and this and that and piece of shit. And yet here he is, and many others. That's not him, but I left for a period of time, and I'm not bragging, but a number of people, including LARP, were missing me, I guess. And so, the fact of the matter is that every single one of us here, if you want to call that two-faced, Zumba, Discord, I mean, my God, what could we have learned from having the information from the Discord from the boys' days back in the spring? I mean, really, being able to talk to someone directly and openly that doesn't necessarily have to be fed to everyone else, or you can tell someone in private something that they did or you did, or you can talk about someone that you don't necessarily have to go up on a panel to lecture them about or talk about. So I just think that the very nature of what LARP did here is a classic example of everything wrong, right? With the unfair playing advantage that some have, that he enjoys. He can troll away. He can attack people. He can make fun of people because he himself hasn't experienced that level of examination and spotlighting his own life, right? And he's had these girlfriends and everything that, have been circulated, and all the stuff that entailed. And he sort of never talks about that for good reason, tries to hide it, tries to deny it, doesn't address it, whatever. And that's fine. The e-girlfriend situation, the love letters, and, his own physical appearance and whatever. So I don't need to do that. I mean, he's a big proponent of that, using an unfair playing advantage to have, and this is something that he mocks. He's been attacking like Ed and others about, but he uses doxed information all the time, right? He mentions my DUI almost every chance he gets. That's a doxed information, right? It's public information, but it was doxed using my name because my name was released, because I gave my name out to a group of people so that we could go and catch predators. And I gave it out to a predator catcher who I trusted at the time and shouldn't have. And so the nature that he enjoys is some that others enjoy, which is this: he's insulated because, he may not believe, I guess, that people might not, and that he thinks that he's protected, or he hasn't been doxxed yet, or people don't know his information or whatever. But he's under that shroud of secrecy. So much so that he would not even give Google his phone number so he could have a community page so he could post his private DMs. So I think he is the grandest pussy of them all. And, and what's so funny too is I've been messaging. I'm not going to block him, but I'm not going to, he can message me. He's been messaging me since as if I'm going to check and respond to him anymore. And it's like, I mean, and maybe he won't cry. He'll come out and be tough that he won't cry, that he's not going to be able to chat with Sam anymore. But I just think that that's being able to have a conversation with someone in private, with him and with most people, sort of going the way of the wind, of the ghosts. I just think that that's done and over with. And I have never released anybody's messages. One time I did, when I had messaged Tommy Boy about a stream we were going to do one-on-one, and I think I posted a community post of 2 of the messages in which he didn't respond to, when he freaked out about his docs weeks before, and he didn't get back when I sent him a message, hey, if there's anything I could do to help, I'd be happy to help, or thing, and he didn't respond, freaked out, and and didn't even read them. So I posted the message after that of the planning for this one-on-one stream we had, in which I totally destroyed him and excoriated him for his bullshit streams about me. And so yeah, I posted those. I think I may have posted one about Ryan because he had been showing my things all the time. I think I wished him well when a family member of his was going through some health problems, and he said, "You're a scumbag piece of shit. Fuck you. You're not people at all. You're scum. You people aren't even people at all," after I had wished him well and his family well. So, you know,